Today's episode of the Sunday Night Talk, the season premiere, is here. It has been recorded. Omar is back. Omar, my co-host for the third year running, joins me, and we come out hot. Omar has life revelations. He's secretive, but yet he still reveals a lot. We will get into it. Before we get into the episode, I want to tell you, this Friday you can see me doing live stand-up comedy, the 16th, 7:30 at Flappers Comedy Club here on the West Coast. Let me know you're coming. It's going to be a great show. I'm on the lineup with some other comics as well, so it will be great. Chance to see me doing stand-up comedy. I want to thank everybody who listened to my Hard Knocks series as well. A lot of feedback on that, and we're carrying it over to the regular season as well with the Sunday Night Talk. That's how you catch up on the game. See what me and Omar are doing in our lives as well. Speaking of that, our show, week one, we recorded it right after the Sunday night game, Dallas-Tampa Bay, so you get our instant reactions. Not to mention, I recap a wild weekend that I had out here. Omar recaps what's going on with him and his last few months. So you're going to want to listen to the opening of this. We have a lot to discuss, a lot to reveal. As you will see, Omar is knee-deep in professional controversy. I'll let him get into it or not get into it. You'll see. So, opportunity to see me doing live stand-up comedy this week. Let me know you're coming, and the Sunday Night Talk is here. Where are you on the NFL? Did your team win? Did your team lose? Are you excited for the season? Did it catch you off guard like it did me a little bit? Well, let's get into it. The Sunday Night Talk for the season beginning right now, our third season of me and Omar talking it out on a Sunday night, is here. So, for myself, Omar Carmona, the Sunday Night Talk, enjoy. All right, it is Sunday night, week one in the NFL, 8:25 West Coast time. I am here, Patrick Ramirez in the LA studio, and I welcome, for the first time this year, my co-host making his appearance for the third season in a row, Omar Carmona. Welcome.
Come on, Pat.
Week one.
Week one in the books.
It's finally here, and I got to say, I don't know if I was ready or not. I felt like, okay, all this is coming. It's so fast. I'm not ready for NFL, but yet it's here. It's can't stop it. We just finished Sunday night, and we have so much to talk about. But here's my opening question. Should we have known the Dallas Cowboys offense was in deep, deep trouble when at one point Dak Prescott audibles to a play called Red Batman? Should we have known there would be trouble today?
That was not a good sign. I don't think it's a very good look for Coach McCarthy. I don't know. Maybe you want to take a page from Peyton Manning's playbook. Maybe call an Omaha. How about an Orlando? Something like that. But a Red Batman, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling Red Batman.
That was special. We have Sunday night to talk about. We have new awards, new categories this year. We have a lot of segments. But, I mean, we have a lot of catching up to do because we haven't spoken in months and months. So where should we start? Should we recap our weekends? Should we get right into Sunday night? How are you feeling? How are you coming into the NFL season this year?
How am I coming in? I'm feeling great. I still haven't had a sip of alcohol, now going on 13 months. As you can tell, I don't know if the audience...
Wow, alcohol watch, Carmona.
But I've lost about 20 pounds. I'm working out every day.
I was gonna say, you look trimmer on the screen here.
Yeah, I've lost 20 pounds. Check this out. I have a yoga blanket, and over there I have my yoga mat, and I have yoga blocks, a yoga belt. I'm doing a lot of yoga and meditation.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a new me. I'm trying to watch what I eat, and I've never felt better.
Well, I think it's clear that it's working for you. I mean, look at it. Did you say you lost 20 pounds?
20 pounds.
And it's meditation and it's yoga. I never thought would have thought that would be your exercise regimen, but when it works, it works. Weren't you? You were doing Peloton for like last year for a while.
I'm still doing
Now on to
I'm doing Peloton. I started so all this, the not drinking started, last August of 21. But I wasn't really still watching my weight or anything. I just figured, hey, if you stop drinking, you'll probably lose weight. But no, I mean, I had to start watching a little more what I was eating. And so April 1st was my born again date. I just started eating healthy April 1st. I started working out every day. I've had a workout every day since April 1st. So I think today was 168 days straight.
is this like a spiritual thing for you? How was this
I think throwing
carried over?
doing the meditation, I think that's definitely more spiritual. But, I thought I was able to channel that positive energy this morning with my 49ers, and it was nothing. So, no, it's all bullshit. Meditation doesn't work.
Oh, wow. 49ers, you killed Omar and his whole thing that he's got going. Just wait till next week. You'll be back on the bottle. You'll have like Twinkie wrappers on the screen.
Yeah, I'll be back
One
on the
loss
bottle
can
wearing a Jimmy G jersey.
I think let's catch up where we are, and then we'll go into the Sunday night. I don't think I could have more opposite of a weekend than you then. This wild weekend. Friday night, I had a show in North Hollywood, and for those who aren't familiar with the geography of LA, North Hollywood could not be less of Hollywood than it is described. It is the opposite of any Hollywood. I go to the show, and your show is in for a wild time when you've been double booked with competition karaoke for the night. So you're sort of sharing the stage, and like an idiot, I show up to these things on time. I'm the only moron who shows up to shows on time. So of course the first person does not show up, and I go up first to a crowd of, probably 8 to 12. We got a solid 8 to 12 folks there. So, and then of course, it's okay. We're having fun. And then by the end of the show, now it's packed. So I missed the greatest part of the show. And then as the show ends, then the DJ says, okay, now we will open it up to karaoke. You never seen a bar fill up so quickly with people. I was like, where was this great crowd 47 minutes ago? And here's what I've noticed about karaoke. Someone starts it off and they'll sing some crowd favorite. They'll sing Green Day. Everybody likes it. They'll sing some Fleetwood Mac. Everybody likes it. They'll sing some other show tune. Everybody likes it. But about the fourth or fifth song in, there's always a Mexican dude who gets up and picks a song in Spanish and absolutely nails it. I've noticed this for maybe 20 years plus, that there's always a secret Spanish karaoke guy, usually with a ponytail, and he absolutely nails this song in Spanish, and I don't know what they're saying. And it's 100%. I'm like, who was that guy? And then they usually just leave. So I've noticed that with karaoke. And then it rained in LA, so of course it's a mess. We can't handle any rain here. Much like you're in my hometown, we can't really handle rain.
Sure.
So that's a mess. And then I follow it up Saturday. I actually was booked on a commercial on Saturday. So I go on Saturday, I meet up, but I don't know what's going on. So, old man Pat Ramirez shows up on time to these things. I go to a house and they say, you have to be prepared. We need people to act like they're at a pool party. And so bring pool party stuff and swimwear. So I pack my stuff like that. I don't know what I'm getting into. I get picked up in a parking lot and we drive to a house in the hills. And essentially, we are having a party for about 6.5 hours straight. So it's really loosely shot. There was 4 shots they had to do. But it was like booze, shots, it is cameras, it's a swimming pool. I think I had a 3-beer buzz going for about 6.5 hours.
Now, real quick question. On that, I don't think I'd be able to. I think they'd ask me to leave that scenario because I would find myself constantly looking at the cameras just to see where they are. I imagine that you're told, do not look at us, right?
It was pretty casual. It was essentially we were having a party, And then they're like, okay, let's get some guys over here. Okay, let's get some girls over here and let's do it. So it was very, very low key. And then like we got fed and like I was like, at some point I was like, I don't know where I am. I'm at somebody's house. I'm at this
Sure.
big mansion house where there's a swimming pool. Everybody who was doing the shoot knew each other. So I didn't know anybody. So I kind of have to make friends with these people. You know, I got to because everybody's like, who's this guy? What are you doing here? So I got to make friends. And at the end, it's all good. But I got home and then I was like, I've been buzzed all day. Beer, shots, food, champagne, because the commercial was for a champagne. So we got us guys, we had to get sprayed by this chick with champagne. And then so, of course, we're just constantly being topped off with champagne all day. So, yeah, I woke up just with like not a hangover, but I woke up with a steady like, okay, you were drinking yesterday. Took me a few hours to recuperate, to rally myself. But it was a wild weekend. I at one point, I didn't know if I was going to make it home. And at one point, I was like planning how I could walk home if I needed to. Because the party was at that point where we finished everything, but people were not done. They were like, no, we're still hanging out. So if something had kept the party going, like say some new celebrity comes in or some new group of people, even an order of pizzas, could have taken the party like, oh, second party, here we go. Like it was that close. And I would not have made it home. I will tell you. So
That's not for me.
I was on fumes this morning.
Is that a vodka or just a water?
That's water. That's just my water.
Good.
Don't worry. I went to recovery mode. So that was my weekend. Let's talk just Sunday games. The games are back.
Games are back.
And
NFL's back.
First
NFL's
thing
back.
they're back. It's officially back. And the first thing I had to do is retrain myself on the NFL Sunday ticket practices. You know, like you get all the screens up with NFL Sunday tickets. So here's what I did. I put 4 games on the screen and then I just slowly eliminated them as they sort of got worse and worse. I'm like, all right, I'm down to 3 screens on 3 games on the screen, 2 games on the screen. And then I had one on the TV. So I did that. And then finally came to my game, the Raider game in the afternoon. And I tell you, I had some flashbacks from last year when the Raiders played the Chargers and I had a minor panic attack. So I had a unique experience in trying to retrain myself on how to watch games. How did you do it? How did you handle it mentally?
Well, I do want to focus on my team this year. I just sometimes feel like I'm always like looking at other games but I want to focus on like the actual study of the 49ers. So on commercials, I'd go back to the Red Zone channel. Okay? And then I'd figure out when the Bears Niners would start again, so I'd go back. On the second round of games, remember, because there's always the bulk of the games are the morning games, and then you'll get 4, during the season, 3, 4, maybe 5 games in the second, the afternoon game. I'll just leave it on the Red Zone. So it's simple for me just to leave it on the Red Zone. And if a game gets good, I'll change it to that one game. But I'm okay with the Red Zone. I like it.
Really? I always have a tough time with the Red Zone because I feel like I don't I like to see like the little unusual things of the game. I like to see a sideline shot. I like to see a replay of something weird. Whereas the Red Zone goes straight up to like who's about to score type of thing. So the Red Zone never works for me. I noticed this as a feature as well. They have something called the Fantasy Zone. And you can click that. And that's a whole separate audio commentary on who's scoring what points. I'm like, will it ever end? This is too traumatizing for him. This is too much information.
And you know what's funny about that is I for the first time in 20-something years, this is the first year I'm still playing in my normal leagues this year. I'm just not that into it this year. Maybe it's like burnout on fantasy, but I'm going to do it, and then I'm probably going to do it next year. But as far as the interest level goes, I guess I just want to just enjoy. Maybe this is the spiritual Omar. Maybe I just want to enjoy football without.
You want to be in the moment more, perhaps.
That's what my meditation's doing, and so
wow,
I'm loving it. but we'll see.
I can't believe it. Yeah, because our fantasy league, you came through at the 11th hour.
Yeah.
Like, you're the commissioner of our league. You're not responding to texts. I'm like, when's the draft? How's the league? Do we want to put? You're not responding to anything. I'm like, Carmona's MIA.
No, it's something we can talk about off air. As you know, I don't know if you know, but I got involved in something, here locally I'm in some shit right now. So yeah, I had a lot on my mind these last couple weeks.
And this is not for air content?
No, it's not for air content.
Oh my God. Jeez, Omar, you do need to get centered. So that was affecting your commissioner duty.
It really was. It was just the timing of everything. Like it just, professionally, everything just seemed to the train is officially off the tracks here in El Paso, in the legal community. I'm into something right now that could potentially be really big. And so these last 2 weeks, I was just out of it. I haven't really been sleeping much. But unfortunately, I think that played a huge role in me just really not getting into the fantasy. Sometimes I like buying a magazine. I'll check out, every now and then ESPN or the NFL Network, they'll do like an hour-long show on fantasy preview. I just couldn't get into it this year.
Are we talking something big you're into that could be good, or something in the sense you're gonna have to leave the country? You're leaving it so vague.
That's a great. It could be one of those things. I don't know which one.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's something professional, and you can give details as you feel comfortable down the road. You're saying.
Sure.
Well, but you came through. You came through with the commissioner duties.
We did it.
Yeah, and we all got to do our draft.
And I'm gonna lose all my fantasy leagues. I didn't even bother looking at the rosters today, but I think I'm gonna meditate on this, Pat, and I'm gonna try to get back into fantasy.
Okay, I don't like you leaving me in the dark here. So you're gonna have to meditate about what you're gonna share in the future. Because if I know the Omar I know, that you're leaving out like 87 details. All right, let's go Sunday night. It was, I would say, kind of a snoozer of a game. We got
it was a terrible game. But it was a terrible
so many good games.
Are we surprised though? I mean, is it just seem like every year, I think because of where we're from and the people that we grew up with, it just seems like us Dallas haters start buying into, well, are they back? You know what I mean? Like, is this a year that now Dallas is a problem for the rest of the league? And I think we buy into it just because we listen to the knuckleheads that are around us. But no, it's all bullshit. They're not.
We got a lot of knuckleheads. Dallas is worse this year. On paper, they are worse.
They are worse.
McCarthy never did anything, so I don't get any Dallas hype going into it. We had such great games during the day that I just assumed, like, here we go, Sunday night. Right. And I even was thinking, like, well, Dallas plays every Thanksgiving Day on Thursday. What if every week 1 Sunday night is Dallas? Wouldn't that be a cool idea? And then I think I answered my own question at about 8:15 West Coast time, that is a terrible idea.
Right.
Did you like the Michael Jordan intro at the beginning?
That was pretty cool.
You did. You did. It seems like Tom Brady is on what effectively the Rolling Stones were on a farewell tour, except it started in 1988, and they've been on a farewell tour since. I think Tom Brady is going to be that guy. We're always going to say farewell to him, but he's going to play another 7 years.
He threw one bad pass, but he didn't look terrible. He didn't look 45 tonight. So I think the Buccaneers are positioning themselves for a possible. That defense looks stout. Again, I don't think they dealt with a top quality offense today, but that defense looks stout. I can already tell you, maybe it's the fog of war. I think Dallas week 1. I know it's week 1. Both our teams lost some good. There were some big upsets today. If you look at it from the perspective of last year, but nonetheless, I think Dallas is in trouble. I know it's week 1, but I think Dallas is in some big trouble this year.
Well, here's Dak's stat line: 14 for 29, 134 yards, 1 pick, and then to add the ultimate insult, he's out of the game with his finger gets jammed up.
Yeah.
So it really could not have been a worse week 1 game
But,
for Dallas. They were so stagnant on offense. The defense bailed them out a couple of times, but they had nothing. They had no bullets in the chamber. He's wearing a spaceman's helmet, still can't do anything. It was a struggle.
Has there been anything about Dak Prescott's career that has made you think maybe this guy is a Super Bowl winning quarterback? I can't think of any moment.
Not to me.
Any signature game. I don't think he's that guy. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback.
He's likable. Yeah, we like him. He seems nice. But like put your stake in the ground. Do you want Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins? Because they have the same stats. If you look them up, they have the exact same stats.
Right.
So if you want to put a stake in the ground, Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott, I know everybody would go Dak first, but why? Because we like him. He's a nice guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because he plays.
He was a mess out there today.
Because he plays on America's team, and once you are baptized by Jerry Jones as the quarterback QB1 for that team, you're gonna get some passes. Right.
The play calling was odd too. Dallas did 2 weird reverse plays, like in the first quarter. Neither of them worked. It was a total mess. They did this little weird reverse, and the guy ran into the Tampa Bay defender.
Right.
That was weird. And to top it off, the weirdest thing about Sunday night, Chris Collinsworth has no voice.
Yeah.
When did this happen? We got no Al Michaels. Chris Collinsworth sounded like he had my weekend.
Something to think about. Maybe Chris Collinsworth has always sounded like that, but maybe because he's the older guy now on the telecast, we think of him as now the senior old voice now. Now he's Al Michael. Who knows?
Wow, this is quite the revelation. You're full of revelations today.
A lot of meditation, Pat. A lot of meditation.
Also, speaking of revelations, NBC is bringing back Quantum Leap. That's the only I have in my notes, but I think that should be noted that NBC is going to bring back the TV show Quantum Leap. They did a funny thing where the guy looks in the mirror and he's Joe Montana. I don't know if you saw that ad, but apparently he's going to go back and be Joe Montana. I also have Prescott's second quarter. Then I crossed that out and put Prescott's fourth quarter was bad. Then the punter hits the scoreboard. And this is the part I like. The punter punts it, and it hits the scoreboard. They do a replay of it, and Mike Tirico goes, and it was on the way up, too.
Right.
Well, how the hell else would it hit a scoreboard that's above it, Mike Tirico?
Right.
What laws of gravity are you abiding by? I know Al Michaels retired, but do we have to really reanimate his stupid comments, too?
Right.
So that was extra fun. Like, in a game that is just so boring, like, you have to manufacture your own entertainment. Cooper Rush comes in. He made a pass completion, and I almost texted you saying Cowboys are coming back, and then I thought better of it as well.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I like how when Dak Prescott got injured, the trainer who comes out to look at his hand, I like how he wears a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
I like how the Dallas Cowboys trainer wears a 10-gallon hat.
Yeah, I gotta respect that.
So boring of a game. So that happened. Let's talk yours and my teams because we both opened up with a week 1 loss. Who do you think had the worst loss?
Well, that's a good one. I think they both were pretty bad. I'm gonna.
They both were bad, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's a winner there. I don't think we can. They were both bad. They were both opportunities to win. I thought the Raiders were still in it, and obviously at the end, but the Niners were, fourth quarter, they just looked lifeless. Something to look out for. My thing with Shanahan, it just seems like we struggle out of the second half. It seems like there wasn't really, we had a small lead, but they were still in it, and it just seems like we didn't really make any. Because even winning teams have to make adjustments to keep the foot on the gas, and I just don't see that on a lot of games with Shanahan, and so, but hey, it was a bad loss. But your Raiders too. I mean, Derek Carr did not look great. He looked like he
No.
struggled. Um, but here's the thing.
Well, I told you
I
I had flashbacks watching that game. I had flashbacks to the end of regular season last year when we watched the game, and Herbert is just completing these passes, and I'm like, I can't watch this for 4 quarters again.
Yeah.
He's so effortless throwing the ball down the field,
But yeah,
and that was
and
difficult.
he's
Here's
good.
how bad it
And
is.
I've always been high on Herbert. I've always there's two quarterbacks in the league. You know who I'm talking about that I'm always high on. It's Herbert and Josh Allen. I think those
Right.
are. I think they're the studs of the league. But but you know, I think Derek Carr just looked slow. He looked older today. But hey, here's the difference. I think the Chargers are a good team. I'm still not sold on the Bears. As being a good team. I do think the Chargers are a good team. So I mean, if you want to, hold your hat on something, I think you guys lost to a better team.
Yeah, I think everybody has collectively been down on the Bears this preseason, so that's why it was surprising that they won week one. Everybody's been high on Herbert, so maybe it wasn't surprising that they won
Right.
week one. The thing with Carr is like he had 2 terrible interceptions.
Yeah.
He underthrew Adams on one. He was beat. Adams beat his man. And he underthrew him, killed the drive. There was a point where they stopped the Chargers, they got the ball back, and Carr threw another pick, killed another drive. He was bad. He was holding the ball too long. The game ended with him holding the ball and getting sacked too long on a 3rd down and a 4th down. So it was so rough that in the 3rd quarter, I thought it would help if I went and took a shower. So I took a shower and then I came back out and I thought it might help. I am of the mental illness that I think somehow I affect my team by where I sit, what I wear.
Or how you smell. That's
during
good.
Yeah.
Well,
So this one I tried taking a shower, and I think they scored on that drive. So I'm not sure, but I think that had an effect, definitely. And then the other thing with like a Raiders game, and it was here in LA, so it's 50% Raiders fans.
Right.
What team has better characters in the stands? Like I'm trying to hold my phone to the TV to take pictures because I want to see the characters. Out of every commercial is a crazy Raiders costume.
Yeah,
character.
I mean, you can't compete with the Raiders. Their characters are fantastic. So I do appreciate their fan base, even though they're in Vegas now. I do at least appreciate that about their crowd.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever, like, being a fan of a team that you were not in the hometown of, have you ever gone to like a 49ers bar type of thing to watch a game? Because I've tried this once. It's like, I'm going to go to the Raiders bar and watch a Raiders game. And I have to tell you, it got ugly.
Yeah,
I was not totally vibing with
I've
this
done
crowd.
that before. I'm not down for that. It's a different kind of crowd. My local 49er crowd over here is not people I would. Look, we're not in the same circles, okay? So I was like, the only thing binding us is the love of the 49ers. So no, I'm not down.
Are you gonna plead the fifth again on this, like your other information you're withholding?
Yeah, I'm not down. But hey, look, two ugly losses. But hey, there were some good games though. We had a opening day tie. Did we not? I think it was the Colts and Texans that tied. Matt Ryan didn't look great.
They tied.
I think Colts are a team that there's been some high expectations. The Bengals and Steelers looked like they were headed for a tie. It looked like nobody wanted to win that game. It's like
that was one of the weirdest games. And
Yeah.
the craziest thing about that, it's like 5 minutes into overtime, and I've got it on the TV. It's the local feed. And they cut it off because they have to go by law to the late game. It went so long that they had to cut off the overtime game. So and then you can't watch it on NFL Sunday Ticket. You have no way of watching it. You're back to, you're back to 1990 when you just got whatever game was on your TV.
Right.
So I'm following it, and it's not ending. It doesn't end for another 25 minutes. They're missing field goals. They're blocking extra points.
Extra points, yeah. So but hey, that was a gutsy win by the Steelers. They go into Cincinnati. I thought that was a gutsy win. Now the next thing to be looking out for, are the Bengals going to be the next victim of the Super Bowl
Right.
hangover? And
Right. We talked about all the people we like. Now there's going to be a couple of NFL slides, a couple of regression years.
and then
Bengals could be that one.
hey, and then the Titans, there was high expectations. Didn't the Titans play in the AFC Championship against the Bengals? And now they lose to the Giants. Uh, And are we going to be talking that
By one point.
Coach Dabble is he changing the situation out there in New York? The Eagles did not look bad. Jalen Hurts looked fine, beating up
That
the
was I don't know what to make of Jalen Hurts. People are talking about like the Eagles are going to be good this year. I
I
don't see it.
know.
I have not been
I
convinced about
He's
the Eagles. Maybe I
another
watched too
one.
much Hard Knocks, but
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen there with the Eagles, but it's an interesting team to say the least. But there was that game. What else? I think every time you see the Patriots going to Miami, you just don't think it's gonna go up for the Patriots. Just historically, Bill Belichick hates Miami. He just
yeah,
hates going there.
that's
And
always a good matchup. Even in the Brady years, Miami always played them
oh,
tough.
they. I think Brady was just a little better than 500, which says a lot against that one franchise.
Hmm.
Going to Miami, and so that was an interesting game. Even though the Dolphins won, I don't think Tua looked fantastic. I was watching a few
Where
snaps
do you
there.
stand on Tua?
He's got a great. I think
There
he's got a
seems to
good.
be a lot of Tua talk this year. I have not.
I don't need. I put him in the same category as Jalen. I'm just like they're okay, but hey, Tua's got
Mhm.
some receivers. When you got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, you got the fastest receiving core in the league, and so he just has to get them the ball. But they're gonna get open. The other game, the Jets are the Jets, and you know how I feel about the Jets, Pat. They're just they're that's you know Joe
I
Flacco's the
do.
starting
I like how you say
quarterback.
these things like I know how you feel about the Jets. I like how you just throw it out there. I don't know how you feel about the Jets.
I hate
I
him.
wrote down just in my notes Flacco question mark. Flacco's still around.
Yeah. We got
Put Flacco and Mitch Trubisky in my hugest question marks of the week. Number one, Trubisky has dined out on a career that I have no idea how he's done it. He was a starter for the Bears for like, what, 5 years? He was
Yeah.
on the bench at Buffalo last year. And
He
now he's the
made he made a
starter at
Pro Bowl.
Pittsburgh?
He was a Pro Bowler one year.
Was he really?
He got it was one of those, where like the top
I might
two
have
like
blacked out that year.
not going, but I think he was a Pro Bowler one year. Yeah, just and now I think that's a mess in Pittsburgh as far as I don't think and then the news out of Pittsburgh is T.J. Watt may have a torn pec, and so that
The
that
Pittsburgh D was very good today.
they were flying.
They were
today.
sacking Burrow. They were
Yeah,
good. Couple thoughts before we move on. My girlfriend loves Jimmy G. Are you a jealous spouse? Is it possible to be jealous of a football player? Because Jimmy G is a good-looking man. I don't know how I feel about this.
He's a good-looking man. I don't think he's a Tom Brady, but he is definitely a good-looking man. Hey, Tom Brady, 7 rings just make you all the more handsome. You know what I mean?
Who would you be more jealous of that your significant other had a crush on and seems to tell you about it a little too much than you would like?
It would bother me more about Jimmy because I understand I think every man should understand where they stand next to Tom Brady. Okay? I mean, that's just
Oh,
like
okay.
you couldn't blame a single woman for saying, you know, I want Tom Brady. Yeah, you couldn't blame a woman for that.
Well, maybe this is a more centered Omar Carmona speaking right now.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you have to know your place in the
Know your
handsome
place.
universe.
My place
Okay.
is well behind Tom Brady.
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't feel so bad about it.
I'll
My
tell
other
you. I'll tell you. Yeah, well, go on. You go on.
Okay, the other thing I noticed is I noticed 3 significant haircuts on people today. It was like first day of school
Oh,
haircuts.
yeah.
Derek Carr had a nice trim. Aaron Rodgers has
Aaron
cut.
Rodgers. I was just about to, Aaron
I
Rodgers.
took a picture of it. Look at you. Look how upset you are. Aaron Rodgers knocks you off your center. That's I know your trigger point. Aaron Rodgers gets you. And Bill Belichick had a fresh cut today as well.
He did, but I'm so sick of Aaron Rodgers. I
Sorry. Sorry, wait, what are you drinking there? Did I bring you to the bottle because I mentioned Aaron Rodgers? What is that? Okay, you're drinking non-alcoholic beer.
It's a zero.
A,
It's
a,
an NA.
a Carmona once long ago would have had a very, very strong reaction to that if I was the one who had brought that onto the screen. So I'm glad you're in a better place, but this is a different Omar.
My yoga blocks are here, so just in case I need to do the rest of the show.
If you need to, if you need to do yoga during this because you're getting a little tense, do not let me stop you. All right, let's go to the other games. What have we not talked about? We haven't talked about KC, Arizona.
That was a surprising. I think when you talk about Patrick Mahomes losing Tyreek Hill, you're thinking, wow, who's going to be the receiver that steps up? It looks like everyone stepped up. Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce, and Mahomes is still Mahomes. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they come out of the gates. But they're 1-0.
I had that game sort of like on the side, and then I got a little news blurb that Kansas City's kicker got injured, and they got their safety kicking. Here's my new programming suggestion. Anytime a non-kicker is going to do a kickoff or an extra point, cut to that game. We need to see that. We need to watch that. Yes. Yeah, just like red zone, when they're inside the 20, when a safety's going to kick an extra point, I need to see that. I need to see that right now. I need to see if he's going to make it. Also, it's right in line with my
20-something years ago when Doug Flutie was kicking. Now, that was awesome. I loved it.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. At Wes Welker, I think did a few kickoffs once, and way back in the day.
When we were kids, when Randall Cunningham would
punt.
Yeah.
He will punt. We need to see that when a non-kicker is doing kicking. Kind of like my idea for there needs to be a camera always on the backup QB on teams. I always need that QB's face on the screen. So that was an interesting part. I love my kickers. What other games have we not talked about, or should we go straight to our new segment?
Let's start with
Cleveland. We haven't talked about Cleveland.
How'd you feel? Were you rooting for Baker Mayfield?
I root for him. I root for a revenge year QB.
Not me.
You don't like Baker? Where is he? Is he above or below Aaron Rodgers for you?
Oh, no one's below Aaron Rodgers for me, but he's down there. But yeah.
If I find out that the information you're withholding from me is like a class action lawsuit against Aaron Rodgers or something, then I'm not gonna be surprised at all.
No. I find it interesting that Aaron Rodgers, he talked about that he was using psychedelics, last year, and
you're surprised by that?
I wasn't surprised, but I think that there's other quarterbacks that had they made the same announcement, it would have been a much bigger deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was a surprise. I think people knew that he was into stuff like that. He's from Northern California.
Well, I know he doesn't believe certain.
Did you listen to Rodgers doing his interview tour? He was on Bill Maher. He was on Rogan. Did you listen to it?
Yes, don't even get me started on that guy.
Wait, but yes or no? Did you listen to it?
Yes, I listened to it. I'm not a happy guy with him.
And your thought? What don't you like? Let me play psychologist Pat Ramirez.
I think it's an act. I think he likes this persona of being being a jerk, and I don't like it. I don't like him. I don't like anything he stands for. I think he's a
hold on. I'm going to play some State of the Union music while you do your Aaron Rodgers rant. Okay, continue.
He's a me first guy, and I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I can't wait till we have a league without Aaron Rodgers.
All right, solid State of the Union address about Aaron Rodgers. So you don't like Aaron Rodgers. You don't like Baker Mayfield. He played a pretty competitive game. Cleveland pulls it out on a 60-yard kick.
Yeah, that was
at the end of regular. Jacoby Brissett is holding down the reins.
That guy's got a great winning percentage, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But also another game that went down to kicks at the end. Atlanta going back and forth with New Orleans.
Right.
And it seems like Jameis Winston, he may have a team in New Orleans. I think Dennis Allen was a former coach of the Raiders for a year or two, but I think I'm interested to see how that New Orleans Saints team comes out. A post Sean Payton era. That's going to be interesting for me. So that was a huge divisional win for the Saints today.
I could see Winston and the Saints catching some fire this year and being everybody's darling.
Yeah. And then more games. I thought the Vikings looked impressive. But and then to be fair,
Oh, that was a weird game. Yeah, that was another Kirk Cousins. I elevate him to Kurt First Cousins now.
But to be fair to the Packers, as much as I hate them, it seems like every year they take a big ass whooping in the beginning.
They got killed last year too.
And then they like reel off like 10 straight wins. You know what I mean? So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at that either. The other game,
they looked bad. The offense looked terrible. The Packers dropping balls. Rodgers was off. Maybe it was his haircut.
Commanders beat that was a surprisingly interesting game too. That was a close game, and Lawrence didn't look that bad. And Wentz didn't look bad.
Wentz, I don't trust that Wentz.
Yeah, it's good. That's another interesting game. I wonder where those two franchises are going to be. But it was still a good game.
Another great game. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I think we had 7 games that were decided by 6 points or less that were all early games.
Yeah, it was a fun opening weekend. Now to get to the only game I think we haven't talked about, man, those Bills. I think if there was a power ranking,
the Thursday night.
If we treat them like college football, I think we have number 1 Georgia in Buffalo. They're the number 1 team by far. It
was so funny that Thursday night the Bills just flex so hard, and by the next day they're the Super Bowl champions. So I was like, yeah, they had a great game, and no one else has played. Can we at least wait to the games, guys?
And look at the kind of cruel game football is. Doesn't it say? I mean, just a few months ago, we were talking about how, wow, Stafford did the Super Bowl run. He's great. He's the most underrated quarterback in history. And the reason he didn't win a Super Bowl was because of Detroit, and now he's in LA. And it's like, then Friday morning's like, man, that guy sucks.
The Rams have problems. Coming up next, the Rams have holes.
It was like so much change in like the last 5 months that now it's like we're going to write them off right now. And that's ridiculous.
I don't have this in my awards, but if I can give an award for, if you want to crown their ass award, it would be the Bills Friday morning. They would get the crown their ass award because they looked awesome. They dismantled the Rams Thursday night, and that was to be like, put it all on the Bills. They're going to the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Right.
So that was great. Josh Allen came out swinging, whereas the Rams, came out flat. Cowboys came out flat. Like, there were some contenders who just came out flat. Bills came out looking awesome. The Bengals, I put the Bengals in there I would say they came out mediocre. Took a lot of sacks.
But with the Rams, where we'd be too surprised. Look, Andrew Whitworth, who was a veteran O-lineman, granted, he spent most of his career with Cincinnati. He retires. But, I mean, that was, many years of leadership. And just, I think, mentorship that he provided that young Rams team last year. Von Miller, a Super Bowl champion.
The Von Miller thing threw me off. I was like, he's on the Bills now? What team was he on last year? Right. Oh, he was on the Rams. He was on the Rams.
Odell Beckham. I mean, we're talking about 3 quality players that have that veteran experience. And then, it's not so much I'm saying they're talented, but sometimes it's just like the wealth of knowledge that they can bring to a team and the leadership and the fact that they can look at these young guys and say, I've been there, I've done that. When you lose 3 guys like that, that's going to hurt.
You're also leaving out that Sean McVay married like a supermodel over the offseason as well.
I mean, maybe
that could change you, man. That could change you, man, Carmona. Listen, hey, I just had a thought for a meme or for a post for a future show of ours. You need to be in the Joe Kane from the program pose, and you need to be holding a 6-pack of Sprite, like when Joe Kane quits drinking, and he shows up with 6-pack of Sprite. We need to recreate that title card with you.
Patrick, what's going on here in El Paso, what I was alluding to earlier, I may be doing our next week's show from Mexico. So
from a bunker.
From a bunker somewhere.
El Chapo Carmona. El Carmona. You might be on the run. And I love how you're being so secretive. Gosh, keeping the audience in the dark. But you said it was professional related, and it could be a huge boost to your career, or you may have to leave the country, you said.
Exactly.
Good God. Good God. Is this going to be our last show and then you're just going to be on the lam? After this, you're just going to pack up your laptop with NFL Direct Sunday Ticket and then you're just out?
This footage may be the last public footage you get of me. I'll be a local attorney missing. This is his last known photo or last known
Wow.
clip. So yeah.
Oh, finally, we can go viral. We can get some views. I knew it. All right. Well, I said I revamped the categories and awards this year. So last year we had a little segment called Lock It In, where we made predictions, but we had to lock it in and we were held accountable to that. So this year we are going to make our week one, now that we've watched week one, Super Bowl picks. And I am going to put those picks on our screens for the rest of the year. So we will not forget. So there'll be a little, next week's show, there will be a little graphic on each of our squares of who we picked for the Super Bowl in week one. So let me get us started. I predict in the Super Bowl this year will be Kansas City versus Green Bay in the Super Bowl. That is my week one lock it in pick. It's going to go in the little box right there next week. So I will be held accountable.
A rematch of Super Bowl one. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right.
That's everything comes full circle, Patrick. So I am going to go with the following. I like, of course, Friday morning. I'm going to stick with my Friday morning feeling. Buffalo Bills will be the team representing the AFC, and I think that they're going to steamroll through the AFC playoff bracket. The NFC is a little more difficult because I think every team has got some glaring problem. And I say glaring, I think every team has some serious concerns, okay? But because it's only week one, and if the Seahawks lose tomorrow, that means the 49ers are still going to be tied for first in the division, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go Bills 49ers.
Oh my God, 49ers. You know, a wise counselor once told me, never let your emotions dictate your decision. So I feel with this guy, all right, well, it's your call. You can lock it in, but I'm putting that on your square for the rest of the season, and mine as well. Okay, now that we have picked our Super Bowl matchups, let me ask you this. Who would you like to see in the Super Bowl? I mean, you already put your 49ers in there. So if I were to put my team in the Super Bowl, I would like my Raiders to go up against the Dallas Cowboys in the first ever Raiders-Cowboys Super Bowl. Like, I just think that'd be a fun matchup.
That would be something truly special.
Yes, that's who I would like to see in the Super Bowl. Who would you like to see in the Super Bowl?
For my Super Bowl, I want to see Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers versus Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, I like that.
I would like to see a nice 13-4 run for the New Orleans Saints, and see what happens.
Oh, I like that. I like that pick. That's like fun. That's really a fun pick. All right. Who would be the most interesting Super Bowl? For this one, I went Tampa Bay and Tom Brady versus Baltimore and Lamar Jackson on an MVP season. We got Tom Brady, so many stories going on, and we got the up-and-coming pass the crown over to the Ravens. So I think that would be the most interesting Super Bowl, Tampa Bay, Baltimore.
You know, I'm going to hold. I mean, I'm not going to. I want to hold off, but I would say that I'm going to put for the most interesting. I'm going to go with New England Patriots. Get their act together with Mac Jones, and maybe them playing a team interesting. A team. I'm gonna go back again with New Orleans Saints. That I think that'd be an interesting. I think I see the potential of the New Orleans Saints shocking the NFL universe this year.
So that New Orleans is also in your most interesting Super Bowl?
Yep.
Wow, doubling up. Next segment, Week 1, Overrate Underrate. I have 4 teams for you after this Week 1. overrate or underrate the Buffalo Bills?
I'm not going to do either. I think they are a top notch team, and I think they are going to get. I think they're getting that kind of respect. So I don't think they're either overrated or underrated. I think they are the top. They are the top team and should be treated as such.
Okay. I'm going to go slight overrate on the Bills. It's week 1. Okay, overrate, underrate, Los Angeles Chargers.
I think they're underrated.
Underrated, wow.
I think they're underrated because I think that they have the potential of running a table, a night and overtaking the Kansas City Chiefs, who have dominated that division, for the last few years.
That's right. They got to get over the Chiefs somehow. What am I going to give the Chargers? Overrate, underrate. Pretty impressive win today. I'm going to go underrate. I'm going to say they have a high ceiling this year. The Keenan Allen injury, we need to follow up on, though. He went out, in the second quarter? Didn't come back. Overrate, underrate the Green Bay Packers. They took a hard loss today.
I think this year, let's give me the parameters here. Are people thinking that, because I haven't really read much, are people thinking that they are going to be a playoff team? Would you say?
I think right now people are thinking they're going to be a playoff team. It's week 1, and they lost some guys, though. They lost Devontae, and they looked really poor on offense.
Okay.
So there's some concerns.
They are overrated. I don't think they recover from losing a playmaker like Devontae Adams. I think Aaron Jones, and that's unfortunate about running backs, that their shelf life in the league isn't that long. I think now, even though he's a young guy, I think we're going to see the guys like Zeke, Elliott, Aaron Jones are going to have this, we can't expect them to be as productive as they've been in previous years. So I think that they are a overrated team.
Last team, overrate, underrate, your San Francisco 49ers. Lost to the Bears in the rain.
I'm going to tell you, I think they're right now, the defense is rated the way it's supposed to be. I think people know it's a strong defense, but I think with Trey Lance, it's going to be hard for that defense to carry them. Right now, I think they are slightly overrated.
Interesting. How much importance do you take on this loss because it was such a bad weather game?
And that's the thing. It's a bad weather game. Next week, the Niners host the Seahawks. I think that'll be a better tell at home against a division rival. We're going to see where their heads are at. Does that make sense?
So you take this game just sort of as a scratch?
I do. But I'm still concerned that we have such a young quarterback and we really haven't seen. Remember, this quarterback came from North Dakota State. So we really don't have we can't point to the Georgia game or the Alabama game with this guy, the Sugar Bowl. We don't have that with him. So, everything depends on how he's been coached up. Of course, if you want to coaching, your quarterback up, hey, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion. He's one of the few guys like McVay. He's one of the few that you want, coaching up your young stud. But we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the season goes.
Do you like that Jimmy G is still on this team?
I don't think we have much of a choice.
Well, they could have traded him.
We could have, but I'm okay with it because if something does happen that we do have to... Here's the thing, though. Let's say we do have to come to the point where we have to pull Trey Lance. That's going to ruin the kid's confidence, and so...
Right, that's why I'm saying, they should have got rid of him if they're so committed to Trey Lance.
They should have gotten rid of him, but at the same time, now that we've brought him back, well, if we're in a situation where he's playing poorly, we're 4-5, and we need a few wins, and he's just not getting it done. Well, then I do feel okay that let's see what Jimmy G can do, and
yeah, in a vacuum, it's there. But we've the Patriots did it last year, where they're like, all right, we're starting Mac Jones, and we just can't keep Cam. He can't be second. He can't be a second string guy. He's going to be a distraction, and he's an asset, so they can trade him away. So Jimmy G still on the team, lingering, is going to be interesting down the road. Okay, going into week 1, what was your best game on the schedule, and did it live up to it? I went with Vegas at Chargers, and I think it lived up to it, but we had 2 overtime games. We had 8 early games that were decided by 6 points or less. So I don't think my Vegas versus the Chargers lived up to my game of the week. But on the schedule, I was like, this is circled. This is going to be the best game of the week.
My game of the week that did not live up to it was the Vikings-Packers. Vikings pretty much dominated. I thought looking at it on paper, I thought it would be a little more competitive. Obviously, we know that the Vikings-Packers rivalry goes back, since the beginning of NFL time, and it just did not live up to a good game. A close second, the Cardinals-Chiefs. There was some build-up there. I was excited. My son's a Cardinals fan, and the Chiefs have been so dominant the last 4 or 5 years. But that game also didn't.
Yeah. I didn't think that game would be good. I'm surprised you thought you got Kyler Murray. I'm still not convinced on Kyler Murray. He hasn't made it through a single season, although he had some awesome runs.
You've never been a big Kyler guy.
No, he doesn't make it through any seasons. He runs like his foot hurts.
The way I'll be examining Aaron Rodgers' weekly performance. I would like you to maybe give me some info on Kyler's progression every week this year.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, new game to the show this year. This game is called the Stat Game. Guess the stat.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a stat. You're going to see if you can guess who this stat belongs to. All right, I'm going to start you off with one here. The stat is a playoff record of 11-10. Does this stat belong to Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, or Russell Wilson?
Ooh. It's not 11-10. It's not Peyton Manning. I'm going to say it's Aaron Rodgers.
11-10 belongs to Aaron Rodgers. You got it correct. Yes, sir. You are 1 for 1.
I would say that Peyton Manning has got more losses than 10 in the playoffs because I think he's only won 2 Super Bowls, but he played for so long. And it seems like all his teams were always in the playoffs except for maybe the first year. You know what I mean? So I would figure he'd have more losses. Maybe I could be wrong, but I figured he'd have more losses than 10.
Yeah, I think his playoff. I looked it up. I think his playoff record was 9-7 or something.
Oh, really?
I'd have to double check. I wrote it down, but 11-10 is Aaron Rodgers' playoff record. All right, this next stat: 166 career fumbles. Does this stat belong to Eli Manning, Brett Favre, or Kerry Collins?
Brett Favre.
166 fumbles belongs to Brett Favre. You got it correct.
And I think I knew that. I think I want to say that I have heard that before.
2 for 2. All right, one more stat to throw at you. As you know, this is our 15th year playing in our fantasy football league. I did a little quick math, and someone owns the record of 63-87. Does this record belong to me, you, or my dad?
It's your dad. Hands down, it's your dad. He's nowhere close to 500 ball.
63-87 in 15 years of fantasy football belongs to me. That is my record. 15 years. I am below 500. Remember the year I lost all my games?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I own that record. So that was our first week of Guess the Stat.
Like that.
I think it's got potential. So let's continue on to the awards for the week. We have new awards this year. I'm very excited about these. Okay, here's the first award. This one is called the Overbearing Parent Award.
Okay.
This goes to, this week, my winner is Jackson Mahomes, the brother of Patrick Mahomes. Here's why I give him my overparenting award. He is an Instagram king, nonstop posts, gets into trouble, but as a parent, this is the year I say, let him do what he wants. Let's take the fences off. Let him live his life. If he gets into trouble, he has to deal with it. So my overbearing parent award this year goes to Jackson Mahomes.
Okay. So are we saying are we the parent in this scenario, or are you saying Jackson Mahomes is the parent there?
I'm saying I'm Jackson Mahomes' parent.
Okay.
And I'm saying to my hypothetical spouse that we have birthed Jackson Mahomes of.
I like that idea of you're just saying, you know what, screw it, nothing else works, do what you want. I think that's the parent mentality. Then
Right.
It's Mike McCarthy to Jerry Jones being the the over.
Oh.
Mike McCarthy is lost. He's not gonna take that team to prominence, and I even think Jerry Jones knows this. I think that Jerry Jones is still gonna give Sean Payton his year off. But I think Sean Payton is going to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys next year, week 1.
So in your scenario, you're the parent of Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy? Like they're brothers in this scenario?
No. Jerry Jones is the parent. He's going to let the screw-up son do whatever he wants from here on out. But because the favorite is coming home to run the family business.
Oh, So Jerry Jones is the parent, Mike McCarthy is the son, but the prodigal son of Sean Payton is coming back. Very biblical. You are centered.
Oh, Patrick, doesn't get more centered than over here right now.
I'm glad because we may never see you again. You may be prosecuting I'm going to take a guess. You're prosecuting the Kennedys, and they're going to hit you with everything they got, and you may have to go into hiding.
The people I'm going after lie more than the Kennedys. How about that? That's
finally a nugget. Finally a nugget of information coming our way. Next award, the Hot Take Award of the week. You get to make one hot take after this week. Here's mine after watching your 49ers lose in the rain to the Bears, who are supposed to be terrible. Jimmy G will start and take over for the 49ers this year. It could be halfway through the season. It could be once they get to week 10. But my hot take is Jimmy G will take over this team. Well, first of all, agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
Oh, you agree?
I do agree.
You have a secret crush on Jimmy G.
No, I don't. But I think if it does happen, and I think it is going to happen, it's because we're not doing very well, and I could see this being a letdown year after being in the NFC Championship last year.
Well, what about the idea? Oh, go ahead. Give me your although.
Although they are obviously my Super Bowl pick, only because I'm a Niner fan.
Judge, I must recuse my attorney because he is biased for the 49ers. Well, what about the idea that if this is Trey Lance's team, then we got to let him fail. We can't take him out when the seas get rough. We got to let him go. We got to let him throw the picks and have the 3-pick game and the embarrassing game. But
Right.
That being said, I say Jimmy G takes over this team.
Yep, I could see that. My hot take is going to be playoffs for. I think I already mentioned it. Playoffs for the New Orleans Saints this year.
Oh, okay.
Jameis Winston will lead a team to the playoffs.
You're high on those Saints.
I do like. There's something about this team that I could see a special run. So I'm gonna go with the Saints. That's my hot take for the year.
Next award of the week. This is the cringeworthy moment of the week award. I don't know if you caught this. Have you seen the new Josh Allen Frito-Lay's commercial? And have you seen the new Justin Herbert SoFi financial commercial? It is bad. At some point, Josh Allen says, like, now that's a winning decision. He says something really bad. And then Justin Herbert is trying to explain finances to us.
Right.
Cringeworthy, bad commercials from these two. Like, we couldn't get them in doing something or like a little bit more relatable lines. So cringeworthy goes to these two commercials. They're no Patrick Mahomes State Farm commercial. This is rookie commercials.
My cringeworthy moment is a little more personal, only because I think he's such a dynamic player and it's a little more serious. But I'm cringing that T.J. Watt may miss extended time. Reigning. I believe he's a defensive player of the year. Obviously, we know him. J.J. Watt's brother, who in his own right now has become a superstar himself. So I think cringeworthy for me to see T.J. Watt go down with an injury and could miss a lot of time. That's very unfortunate for the league.
Like on the last play of regulation too. Like
I feel bad for the guy.
He knew right away like something was wrong. He just comes right off, holding the peck. That's pretty good cringeworthy. Injury related is good cringeworthy. Next category or next award. This is the Would You Rather award. So, would you rather, Omar Carmona, ride in a car with Bill Belichick after a loss, or...
I'll take or. I would never want to be in a car with him after a go on.
Or would you rather have Chris Collinsworth read your kids a bedtime story?
Oh, I think I'd
he
like...
He was struggling, Chris Collinsworth.
I would, but I think I'd always like the idea of Chris Collinsworth. I think he'd be very patient, as thick or as hoarse as he may be. I think he'd still be very patient with the kids. So I'll take Chris Collinsworth reading to Camilo and Lulu any day.
Man, also, here's my argument for the Bill Belichick. I don't think he's a talker. So I just think it would be a silent ride. I think you could get through it.
And I think you'd be wondering, like, do I give him my advice? Like, does he how do you think that would go? How do you think it would go after a loss? You're driving back up to New England and you just say, no, maybe you should have run the ball on that 3rd and 2.
Oh, you would try and offer something.
I don't think it would go well.
Yeah. Also, like, what if you're driving and you take a turn a little too fast or a little too slow? He's already on edge. And he just pops off at you. He just gets mad because he's on edge about the loss.
Or because of a bump you hit, he spills his coffee. Could you imagine how awful? That'd be terrible.
Shoot, I might go Chris Collinsworth as well. I don't have any kids, but Chris Collinsworth with a real raspy, beat-up voice trying to read Berenstein Bears.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's bad too, but I would be afraid of Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Next category. Okay. This is the title of this category for now, but I have a suggestion to change it. This one right now is just called the Tom Cruise Award. What Tom Cruise movie most represents this week? But I want to change it to a character of Tom Cruise and a quote. So I want to change it to the Ethan Hunt and a quote from the movie Mission Impossible. Kittredge, you've never seen me upset award. So that's what I'm going to rename it. You can rename it your own favorite character and quote. So I'm going to name it the Ethan Hunt Kittredge You've Never Seen Me Upset Award. What Tom Cruise movie most represents this week in the NFL? And mine is Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder came out. We had a lot of anticipation. We knew Cruise was a serious thing at the time. And then Days of Thunder came out, and it was just, from the moment it started, it was hot. And that's what today's games were. Those early games were hot. And much like Days of Thunder, the ending was a little lackluster. It was very predictable. But look at all the heavy hitters we had in Days of Thunder. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, Robert Duvall, Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
So this week, I give Days of Thunder.
I'm going to go, it's interesting, maybe because we're so, not far off from its release. I'm going to go with Maverick 2, Top Gun 2 Maverick. Because this was, I think, a blockbuster weekend. We came into this weekend not really knowing what was going to happen. What are we going to expect? Again, in my personal life, I wasn't really too much into football. I'm glad I had this weekend because it brought me back to entertainment. And I am now looking forward to week 2 a lot more than I was looking forward to week 1. and that's only because week one to me was a blockbuster. Even with my Niners losing, it was a blockbuster weekend.
Yeah, I considered Top Gun Maverick as my pick as well. Did you see Top Gun Maverick in the theaters first weekend it came out? How did you go see it?
I think I saw it the second weekend it was out. But yes, I did see it. I saw it in the theaters twice.
Mm.
And then I have my get this off the air when you can through your edits. I have a jailbroken Fire Stick that I had Top Gun for about 3-4 weeks. I had an in theater filmed version of Top Gun. So you heard the crowd laughing.
You had a pirated version of it?
So
that's what you want me to take out? So now you're gonna be on the run for two things?
Yeah. That scene.
Jesus, Carmona, you're like the lawyer in Scarface, just dangerous. You're breaking more laws than you're upholding.
When he crashes that plane, the one that hit the Mach 10, and then he goes down. And I noticed that the quality of the color was a little off, but I couldn't put my finger on it, and the audio sounded a little echoey, and I didn't realize it. And then that scene where he goes and he's in the restaurant, he looks like he's still smoky from the fire, and he gets a glass of water, and as he's drinking it, he says, "Where am I?" And the little kid says, "Earth."
Right.
I heard the crowd laughing on my TV, and I was like, "Oh, this is a pirated version."
I just figured it out. Tom Cruise is suing you, and that's why you have to go on the run. Tom Cruise does not take litigation lightly. He's suing you. You are drinking non-alcoholic beer, doing yoga, and you will be leaving the country. Yep. I just figured it out, dude. You don't need to tell me anymore. You are being sued by Tom Cruise. Here's the movies that were leading up to Days of Thunder, just to put you in a perspective. Top Gun, Cocktail, Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July, and then Days of Thunder. Tom Cruise was on fire in these days, and he does Days of Thunder. What's your nomination for your Tom Cruise character quote award for this category? Are you a Few Good Men, Daniel Kaffee Tom Cruise guy? Are you a Jerry Maguire Tom Cruise guy, or Pete Mitchell Maverick? What's your Tom Cruise guy?
I'm gonna go with A Few Good Men. I Want the Truth, and 49ers. I'm asking you. I want the truth. Is Jimmy G coming back at some point this year? Ah,
yes. You're going with the Daniel Kaffee I Want the Truth award.
Yeah.
I would also potentially nominate for you. I like when he's like going off on Colonel Jessup, and he goes, "You cut these guys loose." Yeah. I like that one too. Yeah. So I like the Daniel Kaffee "You Cut These Guys Loose" award as well. All right, nice. I think this category has legs. We're going to keep that. Last category of the week, of course. Who won the week? Here are my nominees. Haircuts. Did haircuts win the week? Rodgers, Carr, Belichick. Also, nominee number 2, the early games. Did the early games win the week?
Won the week.
Nominee number 3, trial separations. Did Giselle and Tom Brady's trial separation win the week? Tom Brady seemed pretty happy at the end of this game.
Yeah.
And last nominee, new coaches. New coaches.
That's a big one.
Went 6-2-1. Yeah. And in Denver tomorrow as well has a new coach.
Pat, I like where that. And a close second was definitely the morning games. But you're right. I'm gonna go with the new coaches. I was impressed today.
Yeah, new coaches was a great storyline. Something I didn't even know about till they started talking about it for the late games.
Yeah.
So you went new coaches. I'm gonna go, as much as I want to pick trial separations and haircuts, I'm gonna go the early games.
Yeah,
won the week.
Good. They were good
this week. So. Fun week, even though both our teams lost. And my girlfriend is infatuated with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Hey.
Oh, well, I'm gonna try and get centered.
Would you, I mean, it's not bad. Would you want, I'm married and, with your girlfriend, would you rather them say I'm infatuated?
You're married with my girlfriend? This week gets worse and worse.
You're married. I'm married and you have a girlfriend, but I'm saying, would you rather the ladies say, "Hey, I'm infatuated with OJ"? I think Jimmy G's all right.
Yeah, OJ would be bad. OJ,
Yeah,
we'd have to break up for at least
OJ would be really bad.
we'd have to break up for at least 48 hours. Yeah, if she said that OJ, that would be rough. Last thing, Monday night, Denver at Seattle. Russell Wilson's return.
Can you believe it? It's a weekend, more important I thought than Baker playing the Browns. Yeah, and I think the Broncos. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think Seattle is definitely rebounding this year. I am going to go with Broncos. I'll go Broncos 28. Seahawks 6.
28-6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I always predict too high a score, so I'm going to go against my initial judgment, and I'm going to go Broncos 17, Seahawks 8. I say they get a garbage time touchdown 2-point conversion.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right?
but I think we're both on the same page. I just don't see the Seahawks lighting up any scoreboards this year.
No. They were the only team that didn't make any moves in the offseason. I'm sure, well, they wouldn't have traded Garoppolo to Seattle, but I'm sure they were shopping quarterbacks. Sure. I'm sure they wanted a shot at somebody. So, well, week 1, and then we have Monday night coming up tomorrow night. Hopefully we have a week 2 and Omar is not in some tunnel on his way south of the border. So,
nice.
Omar, week 1, we did it. So hopefully our teams get back on the winning track next week. We got Monday night. So this has been week 1 of the Sunday Night Talk for Omar Carmona. For me, Patrick Ramirez. See you next week, everybody.
Good night.
Okay, that is it for the episode. That is it for Sunday night. How about that? It's in the books. 1 game left tomorrow. God, did we make a lot of predictions. Did we come off the rails? Yes, we did. Did we forget to talk about football for a little bit? Yes, we did. Well, that's how Sunday night goes. What the hell is Omar into? Maybe we'll never know. Well, we got week 2. Hopefully he'll join us. He's always into something. I'm going to keep an eye on that guy. Keep an eye on Carmona. He's drinking non-alcoholic beer. He's doing weird legal stuff. He's got a yoga block. Let's see how he is in week 2. His team did lose, so mine did too. So we're going to have to catch up. We're going to have to rebound. Hey, don't forget, catch me doing live stand-up comedy this Friday, 7:30, Flappers Comedy Club. Let me know you're coming. It's going to be a great show. I will be ready. I'll be looking for you, too. So, the Sunday Night Talk, it happened. We're off and running. Give it a listen. If you like the channel, please give it a subscribe, give it a like. Let me know you listen, too. I got some fun stuff planned and coming up. So, for Omar Carmona, for me, Patrick Ramirez, for the Sunday Night Talk, have a good week, everybody.